Kia ora. Welcome to Persuasive Virtual Reality, promoting earth buildings in Aotearoa, New Zealand. My name is Don Samarasinghe, a senior lecturer from the Department of Construction at Otago Polytechnic Auckland campus. This collaborative research was a collaboration between Construction Department, IT, and the Management Departments as well. Let's get into the presentation. So this is the overview of today's presentation. We're going to begin with a summary of our research, and then it'll be followed by the earth buildings in New Zealand in terms of its establishment time span. Then I'd like to talk about why earth buildings should be promoted in New Zealand, because they have numerous benefits that's going to benefit the occupants in these houses. Also, I'd like to address the point, despite the numerous benefits of living in earth buildings, why earth buildings are not so much popular in New Zealand. We found that modern New Zealanders have the mindset of looking at earth buildings and thinking living in an earth building is a poor or old living style. Therefore, we looked at the psychological theories affecting the behavior change interventions so that we can convince people to look at the benefits of living in earth buildings and hopefully in the future have more earth homeowners in New Zealand. It'll be followed by the virtual reality project that we invented as a behavior or mindset changing intervention project. And as a part of this research project, we interviewed subject matter experts from the construction industry as well as the academia. So the findings of these SME interviews will be shared with you. I'm very excited to share the persuasive virtual reality model we created with you. Our team and I were able to create this virtual model, and we deployed our model into a website. So the exciting part of this presentation is to demonstrate the virtual reality model, to go through the different areas of this virtual reality model and share our findings with you. We argue that the virtual reality prototype we created is a persuasive system for promoting earth buildings. Finally, our conclusions and the way forward with the future of our research will be discussed in this presentation. All right, let's get started. Summary. Earth-built environments are popular around the world because there are a number of benefits of living in earth buildings. I'd like to talk about them shortly. However, residential earth buildings are unpopular in New Zealand despite their numerous benefits. We found that one of the biggest reasons for this unpopularity is a negative mindset towards earth buildings. People think that living in earth building is a poor living style or is a old living style. Therefore, we proposed a persuasive technological tool as a way of effectively changing people's attitudes or behavior towards living in earth buildings. I'd like to reiterate that the overarching aim of this paper is to apply virtual reality as a persuasive technological tool to promote residential earth buildings in New Zealand. So let's look at the earth buildings history in New Zealand. Before we come to the earth buildings in New Zealand, it's important to note that earth buildings is 11,000-year-old practice around the world using unfired raw earth material. Some of the oldest wonders such as ziggurats, aqueducts, monasteries, temples, and of course the Great Wall of China were also made of earth. In New Zealand, earth buildings construction started in mid-18th century, and it is important to note that the indigenous Maori people also have used earth to build their homes since long ago. Once Europeans started coming into New Zealand in the 19th century, they brought the brick wall construction aspects into New Zealand. One of the changing points of the earth structures in New Zealand is when Graham Earth, an architect, built a rammed earth house near Whangarei up north. Graham Earth has contributed significantly to the earth buildings in New Zealand. He's a part of the Earth Building Code Establishment Committee. Currently, I'd like to acknowledge the enormous contribution from EBANZ, Earth Building Association in New Zealand, for securing these wonderful, healthy living earth structures in New Zealand. There are other interesting organizations who support earth buildings in New Zealand, such as Earth Song Eco Neighborhood. It's a living community of people who have the same mindset that living in an natural earth building is the best possible way of living a healthy and happy life. As a part of EBANZ, I visited EBANZ annual conference last year in Cromwell, in Cromwell, New Zealand. So I was so lucky to see these living earth structures surrounded by beautiful ranges of mountains and some waters. So some of the examples are shown here. I saw a rammed earth winery in Wanaka area that was beautifully done, and also a straw bale house in Luckett. So some of these structures are great examples of living earth buildings. And I kind of found that these structures are luxurious type of buildings, and it promotes healthy living styles. And when you go inside into one of these buildings, and you feel like it's very natural, you feel like it's really different from living in a concrete, timber, or steel building. Next, why earth buildings should be promoted. Of course, earth is a natural, non-toxic, and excellent physical properties of the soil, brings these wonderful properties in earth buildings. Because of these brilliant characteristics of soil, earth building envelope can breathe through the external building envelope, which we can't see through concrete structures. Also, this massive thick earth walls are great sound insulation. Also, they have a really high fire resistivity as well. Overall, earth is a less processed building material compared to concrete, steel, or timber. Therefore, earth is considered as a low carbon material. And this concludes that earth buildings are environmental friendly, healthy, and very natural living styles. Despite the numerous benefits of earth buildings, why earth buildings are still not popular in New Zealand? That's the question. The total number of earth buildings in New Zealand is less than 1% of all entire buildings. Because of the rapid progress of science and technology in the development of colonial industry and infrastructure, society in New Zealand primarily organized around the idea of modernization. People think that earth constructions are poor and old way of living. I think this is one of the main reasons why we can't see many earth buildings in New Zealand. Therefore, our aim is to design a virtual reality model for people to feel, experience living in an earth building. And we believe that our virtual reality model is able to change people's behavior, change people's mindset towards living in these natural, sustainable buildings. We followed Kelly and Becker 2016's model as a part of as a psychological part of our research project. So generally speaking, it is difficult to change people's behavior. We understand that. However, if we consider a reward mechanism for changing people's mindset or behavior in the long term, as well as the short term, I think it's a great way of initiating a project to convince people to living in earth buildings. I think it is all about getting the message across. People don't know how beautiful, how healthy is living in earth building is. Therefore, through this project, we believe that we can get this message across to the community. We believe that through our virtual reality model, knowledge, information can be convinced, can be passed on to the people. Therefore, we developed a virtual reality prototype test and improve in order to generate effective technology that could stimulate behavior change cost effectively in a safe way. So this is the research project process we followed. At the beginning of our research project, we conducted a comprehensive literature review. We looked at the history of earth buildings across the world. Of course, we looked at the history of earth buildings in New Zealand too. And we looked at where we can see earth buildings in the geographical border of New Zealand. With the result of the literature review we conducted, we talked to subject matter experts representing the construction industry and the academia. So the number of interviewees discussed about the great benefits of living in earth environments. Also, they talked about how we can promote earth buildings in New Zealand. With the result of the SME interviews, we designed, and we developed a virtual reality prototype that include earth walls. For example, we included rammed earth walls, we included corp walls, we included mud bricks, etc. We also didn't forget to include a number of sustainable building features such as rainwater harvesting tank that helps to minimize the water consumption in a house. Also, we included a dry toilet, again, which helps to minimize the water consumption in a house. We also included solar panels as a way of demonstrating utilizing natural heat to generate electricity for daily consumption. Our virtual reality model also included a green roof that can minimize the heat transmission from exterior to interior during summer. So this project development process was a collaboration between information technology and the construction department. We worked together with our students. I think that's a beautiful and the meaningful part of this research project. And this project was created by the students. And students and the lecturers, we went to Auckland Build Expo 2018 exhibition in Auckland SB Showgrounds. So we showcase our virtual reality project to the public. So public was able to immerse in the earth environment we created. They experienced how they felt it. And we received a number of good feedback from the public on these new earth construction techniques. We found through the subject matter expert interviews that earth-built environment provide countless benefits, mainly the health benefits, and it also promote living in a natural, sustainable environment. And New Zealand earth architecture is unpopular, primarily due to the lack of awareness and people's negative perception, subject matter expert interviewees said. Also, earth architecture is not popular due to lack of technical capacity in New Zealand. We don't have enough technical tools and the capacity to bring the suitable earth materials for earth constructions. That's one of the shortcomings as well in New Zealand. Also, large construction companies believe that the market size for New Zealand earth architecture is too small to be profitable. Because there's a less demand for earth constructions at the moment, and the construction companies are a little worried about, investing on earth construction projects. A majority of New Zealanders think that construction takes a significant time as opposed to a traditional timber construction project. Traditional timber house construction project takes around 3 to 5 months in average. However, earth construction project could take around 10 months to be completed. So that is a significant drawback. However, the benefits of living in earth architecture is way more than the challenges we have. Therefore, we believe that we have a responsibility to promote living in natural, sustainable earth buildings among the New Zealand community. Therefore, we believe that there is a need and responsibility actively work on increasing the awareness of constructing and living in earth-built environment in Aotearoa, New Zealand. That's why we started to create and implement this virtual reality project. So this is our persuasive virtual reality model. So I'm going to go through this virtual reality model with you right now. So this is the living room. I'm sure you can see different types of earth walls here. There's a rammed earth wall here, right over here. And let's go to a different part of this earth wall. This is a rammed earth walled bedroom. And you can see that how we incorporate the specifications and the details of rammed earth on the wall itself, so that when public had a chance to go through this project, they could immense in this area, and they could feel living in a rammed earth bedroom. So let's go to a different area of this house. Probably go to, we are back in the living room. Let's see what we can see here. So this is the kitchen, and you can see the walls are made of straw bale construction. So we put the information on straw bale construction on the wall. So again, when people put their VR gadget on, and they were able to read through this information, I think this was a wonderful experience for people. Let's try one more location. This is a compacted brick wall, and it's another bedroom. So we wanted to educate people on different types of earth walls and what they are made of, and a little bit of their construction process as well. Yeah, this is a virtual reality prototype that we created and promoted through the Auckland Build Expo project. All right. Yeah, some more information on the different types of earth walls we included in our model. Again, rammed earth. It's a damp mixture of soil and cement, and you can get the beautiful surface of earth wall as shown here. And then the core, which is a natural building material made from clay, sand, straw, reinforcing this core wall, and of course, water. There are other 3 types of earth wall construction techniques we wanted to promote through our model. This is how we showcase our VR model at the exhibition. You can see our team has set up our booth, and then our students are promoting this earth construction through a virtual reality model. In public, I've incorporated feedback from one person who visited our booth. So he said, it took real to me, and I felt like I was walking inside the rooms. I liked the texture on the earth building walls, and it gives the real vibes exactly what we need. So I think this is an evidence to tell you that virtual reality is uh, is a really good way to make people feel about living in earth constructions. Virtual reality is a great way to demonstrate how a real earth construction house looks like, because we can't let people to experience real construction projects, as earth construction projects are not so much popular in New Zealand. And we didn't forget to have some posters around the booth. We were exhibiting this project, so we incorporated what construction material these walls are made of. Also, we incorporated the construction process of this wall. So again, a bit of a summary of technical details of compressed earth, straw bale, rammed earth, mud bricks, and coal. And these are 5 earthwork techniques that we picked up from a comprehensive literature review done at the beginning of this research project. So the virtual reality model we created is a persuasive system, we believe, because we argue that our model meets a requirement set by Kukkonen and Hajima 2008. According to their framework, they introduced 4 categories, category 1 to category 4, to define a persuasive system. And we argue that our virtual reality model is a persuasive virtual reality model. If you would like to know more about this project, I strongly recommend you to read the Persuasive 2020 conference proceedings. So please have a look at our research paper. There we explaining how we made the requirement of this research framework. So let's go. Let's come to the conclusion and the way forward of our research. Overall, Earth architecture has become one of the most mainstream sustainable buildings at present in the world. It is crucial to increase the awareness of enormous benefits of Earth-built environment, especially in New Zealand, as our project was conducted in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We believe that our research paves the way for systematic design and development of a fully fledged persuasive VR model dedicated to promote such sustainable building. Not only earth walls we included in our project, we included other sustainable features as well, as I explained to you before. We had a rainwater harvesting tank, we had a green wall, we had a green roof, we had solar panels, also dry toilets, promoting less energy consumption or natural energy consumption in houses. So through virtual reality application, we tend to start addressing the challenges associated with behavior change. We wanted to use VR as a tool to change people's mindset towards, as I said, people think that living in earth structures is a poor or old living style. So our project aimed to change this mindset of people. We are also offer a cost-effective method for people to be more fully immersed in earth-built environment that we can't otherwise reach. I think it's a great way of exposing sustainable building features such as earth buildings to the public. In the near future, we hope to test our virtual sustainable building with the people who work in the construction sector as well. Yeah, our aim is to take this model to the construction practitioners and get their opinion in, see how we can improve this model and go back to the public, probably to 2020 Auckland Build Expo, and promote living in buildings in New Zealand. Therefore, the next step is to progressively work towards developing a platform also to change the behavior of the public who might purchase sustainable houses that incorporate earth walls and other energy-saving building features. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Please go through our full research paper. If you have any questions regarding this research project, or if you would like to know more about this research project, please contact us. Thank you for listening. And this is the references list. You can see the in-text citations and the references list from our full research paper on the conference proceedings of Persuasive 2020 conference. Thank you again.